Hello guys, welcome to yet another interesting episode of the Wealth Distinction Podcast. My name is Alex Ihanacho, and in today's episode we are going to be looking at something very interesting. Today's episode we are talking about how to have a good year every year. This is a subject of one of my new books which will be coming out sometime next year, and I just felt like sharing my thoughts and ideas with you on this podcast so that you can really learn, pick one or two things that can help you to organize your life and make sure that you have a better year every year. So in my earlier years, when I was stuck with life of nothing, I always wondered how people were able to go from being nobodies to being great and incredible people. I mean, achieving all the desires and hopes and wishes and aspirations, all those great stuff that they had in mind. How do people move from being jobless to landing a great job? How do people move from being broke to being millionaires? How do people go from being addicts to becoming clean and healthy? How do people go from being those people who could not express their ideas to becoming international and renowned speakers who could change lives by their thoughts and their words? Now, this was very important to me because at that time I really wanted to change my life. I wanted to have an adulthood that was different from my childhood. Now, my childhood was not very interesting, but at a point in my life I made a commitment to myself that no matter what it took me, I was going to create an interesting adulthood for myself. But at this time, I didn't really know how to start. So I was concerned until I stumbled on an interesting practice called goal setting, right? And ever since, it's been one tool that has helped me to move into the current reality I experience, where I am at peace with myself, where I look at my health and my health is in order. I look at my wealth is growing in all ramifications. So it's an interesting place to be, and also this tool called goal setting has in no small measure helped me to become this kind of person, and also is helping me to become a better version of myself. In fact, most times when I talk about what I've gone through and where I've been, a lot of people don't really get to understand it, but I know the depth of my struggle and I know the depth of my journey, how far it's been, how I was able to move from a boy who had no parents, who was homeless for years, to being the person that I am today. So goal setting is one tool in my arsenal that I cannot trade for anything, and ever since I discovered it, my life has been different and interesting. And I also figured that even God himself is a goal setter. Right? You can find that in the Bible. God himself is a goal setter, and he also instructed us to learn how to set goals. These are all in the Bible. Now, it's not surprised that goal setting is such an incredible stuff. In fact, over 1,000 studies have consistently shown that setting high and specific goals is linked to increased task performance, persistence, and motivation. Right? These studies have shown that goal setting is one key thing that marks the difference between achievers and non-achievers in life. So obviously, if you want to be an achiever in life, you have to learn how to use goal setting. Why? Because goal setting helps trigger new behaviors, it helps guide your focus, and it also helps you sustain the necessary momentum that you need to create an impressive life for yourself. Right? But I must confess to you that when I started this practice of setting goals, I was horrible at it. I was very bad at it. Yeah. But over the years, I've gotten quite good and very consistent, and I have developed some improved strategies that have helped me. And part of those are things I'll be sharing in my book, and they are also part of things I'll be sharing with you in this podcast. Now, the thing is, when I started goal setting, one of the reasons why I struggled is because I confused goal setting with New Year resolution. New Year resolution, that thing that you do, especially go to church, you're pumped up, there's a whole lot of emotions and motivations and prayers and everything towards the end of the year and you find yourself in such places, you begin to aspire, you begin to have these desires and wishes. You begin to sometimes even try to have things that you do not have the capacity to own or to achieve yet, but all of these things are all in a wish, and then they tell you, oh, God can help you make everything possible. So you just write these things down and trust God and believe God, and somewhere along the line you begin to think that God is a magician, and because of the fact that you don't understand how the principles of life work, you confuse a miracle, a one-time occurrence to help save you from a situation, to becoming a life strategy, that is a way you live the rest of your life and every day of your life. Okay, so that was my problem. Okay, the problem is that I would do these resolutions, when I go to church and I'm pumped up and everything. I'll do these resolutions and somehow I will lose the papers, because in the first place, the first mistake was that I wrote them out in simple sheets of paper. So I will always lose the papers, only to find them many years after I've been distracted by other stuff and other things, right? And while I was studying, I discovered that I was not alone. There were a whole lot of other people. In fact, there are studies to back up that this is actually what you get when you make New Year's resolutions. A 2007 study by Richard Wiseman from the University of Bristol, involving about 3,000 people, showed that 88% of those who set New Year resolutions fail at them. So you can see, it's not just it's not just something that you're caught up in, it's something that is universal and global. And why does this happen? Because New Year resolutions are feel-good wishes that don't work. You know what they say? If wishes were horses, even beggars would ride, right? But wishes are not horses. So you can't ride. You have to move away from just wishing for things to be better, wishing that you get better, to doing things that will actually make you better. And that is where the difference between New Year's resolutions and goal settings come in. So while doing New Year's resolutions, you're wishing actually, but while doing goal setting, you are actually able to move from being motivated to being compelled. Right? You move away from just being motivated to being compelled enough to stay disciplined and consistent, especially when things get rough and tough for you along the path. So in this podcast, let me quickly share with you a few thoughts to keep in mind if you are interested in trying to make every year an interesting year for yourself, trying to make sure that the next year is going to be a better year for you, because they say that when you do the same thing over and over again but expect a different result, that is what is called insanity. So for you not to be termed as a madman, or for you not to let your brain call you a madman, here are a few thoughts that you need to put in place in your life to help you change strategy for the year, for the next year, for the next few years, so that you could look back and say, oh wow, I have really come this far. Now, for those of you who follow me on social media, one of the things I do from time to time is that I share my before pictures. In fact, I regret that when I was much younger, I didn't have a lot of pictures taken of me that would have really helped me to share some of my journeys and some of my experiences. You know what they say, pictures don't lie. And it was later I realized that pictures is actually one of those great memories that you're supposed to have a lot of, which you will also leave behind for those that are coming after you. So why I share my before pictures is to remind myself, not for people, but to remind myself of how far I've traveled. When I look at my before pictures and I look at my current pictures, I am wowed. And also, the next thing that happens is when I share my pictures, when I see my old pictures, I can remember almost in details every event that happened at the time, or every event that was happening in my life at the time I took those pictures. So they remind me of the things I was once struggling with and the things I am no longer struggling with. So it's always more of a testimony for me to keep my brain informed of the fact that if I could conquer those past and I am experiencing this present, it simply also means that the future I am aspiring to is possible for me. All right. So here are a couple of things, a couple of thoughts, my thoughts obviously, that I think can help you if you keep them in mind and take them personal. The first thing is that you need to set goals with strong whys. You need to set goals with strong whys, because the whys are the things that make your goal compelling. Why do you want to have a healthy lifestyle? Why do you want to work out 5 times a week, eat fruit, go on fast some days, take water some days, take 3 liters of water a day? Why exactly do you want this? Right? Why do you have to fix your teeth, fix your eyes, fix your ear, take care of any part of your body that is not functioning properly right now? Why do you have to toil and sweat every day, Monday to Friday, just to keep your body running? Why do you have to jog? Why do you have to trek? Why do you have to do all of these things to put your health in shape? If you don't have a very serious and compelling why, then you will not be able to pull through with your health goals, for example. Right? Why do you want to make $1 million? Is it just for you to flex, for you to show people that you have arrived, for you to oppress people in the community, for you? Why exactly do you want to get $1 million? If you don't have a very strong why, now you know why you can't even get yourself to make sales calls. Now you know why you're shy and you tell people, oh, I can't sell because I'm shy of talking to strangers. Why do you want to get on that stage and talk to thousands of people? Why do you want to do a podcast even when you don't know if somebody's going to listen to you? Why do you want to make a post when you don't even know if someone is going to read it after all? Why do you want to do all of those things that you're trying to set down as goals for the next year? Why are you considering those things important? If you don't have a strong why, a very strong why that is personal, that is inspirational to you alone, then you are most definitely not to get along with your goals. And this is why resolutions don't work, because in resolutions you don't have a why. Someone just said make a wish for the next year, write down the things you're going to achieve for next year. Just write them down carelessly without any emotions to what you're doing. All right. The second thing is that your goals need to be personally smart. Right? Now, of course, in goal setting, you have heard of SMART goals. It has to be simple. It has to be specific. It has to be measurable. It has to be actionable. It has to be result oriented, and it has to be time bound. That's where SMART is coming from. But the thing that happens most time is that people borrow other people's SMART goals. So a friend of yours said he was going to make XYZ amount of money for the next year, and then you borrow that idea. Oh, that will also be cool. Someone says, oh, you know what, I'm going to walk down my tummy this year or next year and have a six-pack. Oh, that would also be nice to have. Then you join the person. So the goal is not personal to you, though the goal itself might be smart, but it's not personal. You don't have any personal investment to it. So if you want to set goals that will move the needle for you, you have to make sure that you set smart goals that are personal. So your goal has to be personally smart. All right. The next thing you have to look into is, let the goals you set not be one-sided. Let your goals not be one-sided. Life is not all about making money. Life is not all about having children. Life is not all about all of those few things you put down as your aspirations. Life has to be lived holistically. Life has to be complete. And that is what the wealth distinction is all about. Wealth is not about how much you have in your bank account. The true definition of wealth is about your wholeness in the important areas of life, which I refer to as the areas of distinction. Anyone you know who has it all together has completeness in these 5 areas. So your goals must cover these 5 areas if they must amount to anything. The first one is spirituality. So you must set goals that help you connect deeper to yourself, because you're first a spirit before you're a human being. So you're just experiencing the physical aspect of life. You have to set goals that will help you connect and experience the spiritual dimension of your existence. And that is where experiences come in, traveling, meditation and all of those things. So you have to set goals that help you to live your purpose and be true to your calling, be true to the reason why you came to this earth. So if your goals are not, if you don't have goals in that area, then you might have other things, but you still will not have this interesting life that excites you. You also, in spirituality, you also have to set a goal that connects you to a power that is bigger than you. Yes, we are all incredible human beings. We can all achieve a whole lot of things with our own strength, but we need some help. Like Robert Kiyosaki once said, he said, we always need the powers that be to aid us in our quest for success and progress. So we need to align ourselves to a a being that is stronger than us. I am not the person to tell you what the being should be, but my own belief is a Trinity. I believe in God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. So I try to study the Word of God. I try to do things that help me become a better follower of the Trinity. That's my spirituality, and I set goals in that line. It could be things to help you go to church more, pray more, fast more, read the Bible more, all of those things. I think in my life I've read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation like 3 times. Though it took me a couple of years, but I've done that. So hardly will I hear anything that I would not really know whether it is from the Bible or not. That is a goal. Your health, fitness. Right? Fitness here talks about your physical health and your mental health. You have to set goals that help you put your physical health in check and also put your mental health in check. So that's where you talk about improving your mind, getting mentors to give you ideas and information that will help you grow mentally, right? Going back to school for another program, that's a mental fitness goal. Okay, physical fitness, you want to have 6-pack, you want to treat an ailment that has been bothering you for a while, you want to develop a daily workout routine. These are physical fitness goals. Okay, the other one is your relationship with your significant others and your relationship with your important others. Significant others are those who love you for no just reason, right? My wife, for example, loves me because she's my wife. My child loves me because he is my son. He doesn't have any reason to love me. He doesn't know whether I'm rich or poor. He just loves me because I make him happy and I'm his father. Right? So these are significant others, family members, those who are close to you. Then you have important others like your mentors, your mentees, your peers. These are the people that sow into you that you also have to sow into at some point in your life. So you don't have to leave these things to chance. You must set goals around them. Then the fourth one is your money. Okay, money is important, so you have to set goals on how much you're going to make, how you're going to reduce your expenses, how you're going to invest your money, how you're going to start saving, how much you want to save and how much you want to invest at the end of the period. That is also important. Then the fifth one is what I call the wheel of wealth, and that is wisdom. Wisdom is your ability to discern differences in people and events. So if you train yourself to learn how to discern differences in people and events, then you're going to have a superpower that so many people don't have. The reason why another person sees an opportunity where the first person saw a problem is because of discernment, wisdom. The reason why someone says, you know what, I like your deal, I like your propositions, I like what you're offering, but I'm not interested, it's because of wisdom. And at the end of the period, you find out that the person made a wise decision. So training yourself to learn how to discern differences in people and events is actually something that is worth setting goal about. And the fourth thing you need to do is to use the goal chain system, right, to set your goals. Let your goals drag themselves along. So it's easy for you to find someone who sets goal for next week, sets goal for next month, and even sets goal for a year, but it's hard for you to find someone who has a 10-year map or 20 years goal, right? 5 years goal. These are people who think into the future, who are able to design their future in such a way that while things are happening while you're achieving things in the moment, you're also bringing the future closer to you. Okay, so for me, I have long-term goals, medium-term goals, short-term goals. So long-term goals could be 10 years and above. Medium-term goals, is usually more than 1 year, and short-term goals are usually within 12 months. Okay, and when it comes to short-term goals, you now have what I refer to as quarterly actions, monthly actions, weekly actions, and daily actions. So it simply means that by the time you take your daily actions, you're moving yourself closer to your quarterly actions or your quarterly goals. And by the time you take your quarterly goals, you're moving yourself closer to your short-term goals. And by the time you complete your short-term achievement, you're getting closer to your medium-term goals and you're getting closer to your long-term goals. That's a very creative way of making sure that your goals drag themselves along, such that you won't have to be thinking of what your life will be in the next few years. Okay, then the other one is for you to create performance triggers. Okay, performance triggers are things like your vision board, practicing creative visualization, things like meaningful affirmations, using sensory triggers, and all of that. These are things that help you to create a compelling goal and also to help you stay on track. Then make your goals few, right? I've seen people who set many goals. Make your goals few. So in your health goals, you could just have 2 goals. In your spirituality goals, you could just have 2 goals. In your health and fitness, in your money goals, you could just have 2 goals. Maybe just cut out how I waste money. That could just be your goal for money, right? Because by the time you cut out how you waste money, it simply means you can increase your savings. It simply means you can increase your investing your investable funds. Okay, so make your goals few. Then lastly, resolve. And what does resolve mean? Resolve is a promise you make to yourself. Have you ever seen a child trying to walk before? That's the definition of resolution. That's the definition of resolving, making a promise to yourself never to give up until you achieve what you want, right? No child tries to walk the first time and gets it right. So a child tries to walk, he falls, he gets up, he falls, he gets up, he falls, he keeps doing that until eventually someday and one day he finds himself walking. And that is why you have everyone walking today. Imagine if we didn't make a resolve to ourselves when we were kids, definitely we wouldn't have anything to celebrate today. So make a resolve, right? Make a promise to yourself to keep to these things until you know that you have achieved what you want. Okay, guys, that's the size of today's episode, coming to you hot and heavy from me. If you want me to help you in implementing some of the things we've talked about here, then you can join the Income and Goal Acceleration Program for 2021, right? Where I would help you share more strategies, hold you accountable, and make sure that we are all on the same journey and help you not to fall off the wagon when things get rough and tough, right? So if you have any question for me or you have anything, you can send me an email, a personal email, to moneysenseafrica@gmail.com, moneysenseafrica@gmail.com, and we will reach out to you and see how we can work together. The most important thing is for you to make sure that you live your best life every day. Till I come your way next time, keep having yourself some money sense. Cheers.